Hi, I'm Chris from 7Y. We're an energy sustainability charity, and usually we're helping people keeping warm in winter. But as we're seeing greater and greater heat waves coming through the British summer, what we're going to talk about today is keeping us cool and comfortable without costing the earth. Our houses are primarily designed to keep the heat in, and whilst it sounds perverse to say insulate your house to stop overheating, if your walls are insulated and if your roof space is insulated too, that will actually stop some of the heat from transferring through into the inside of the building. So not everyone has a room in the roof or a room with a sloping ceiling, but most places have 2 floors to them, and as the heat travels upwards, one of the easy things that you can do is just to close the door in the upstairs rooms, and that will stop some of the heat traveling up through. Now we're going to head off and we're going to talk about airflow and ventilation. So for ventilating the house, you need to have the air outside cooler than it is inside. So this will be most likely first thing in the morning or in the evening once the heat of the day has died down. Open up the windows and let the breeze do what it can. If you've got a fan, then put it by the window, switch the fan on, and that'll draw some of that cold air through and blow it into your room. So one of the big common mistakes that we see during the hot periods is people have their windows wide open and they're hoping that they'll bring a breeze through the place. Now, if it's hotter outside than it is inside, all you're doing is bringing hot air through into the property. So close up the windows, bring blinds down, close the curtains, and that's a much more effective way of keeping your room cool. So you can see from the thermal image that as the sun comes straight through the windows, it's heating up the floor, and that'll get stored into the floor and radiate out through the day, making your room warmer. The sun's now just gone behind the clouds, so if we have a look again, you can see even though that there's no sunlight on me, you can see that the floor is radiating the heat still. So the sun's come back out, and this is one of the products that you can get to reduce the heat. It's called solar film. You apply it directly to your windows and it reduces the amount of heat that comes through the window and into your house. And as you can see here, the difference between that which has got no shading and that which has got shading. The appliances that we have in the house all kick out heat in one form or another. So if you don't need them on, then do switch them off. So off with the TV, off with the lights where you can, and consider changing your cooking style so that you're not necessarily using the oven or the hob as much. Maybe batch cooking later on in the evening is a possibility. If you're going to be in all day, consider moving to a smaller room on the shaded side of the house, so that'll keep you cooler and more comfortable throughout the day. So you can see from the thermal image the difference between the hard spaces and the natural areas in the amount of heat that's being absorbed from the sun, and those will just radiate the heat back out come the evening time, which is why it's so important to have green spaces in urban areas and at home if you can. For the longer term, if you've got a garden and you can plant a tree, then if you do that, the shade that it'll bring you in the summertime, it'll be fantastic in cooling your home. And if it's a deciduous tree, then it'll lose its leaves in the winter and you'll still have your winter sun coming through. And finally, we'll talk about the cooling options that you have. So for you and the room itself, quite a familiar fan. Should be around about 30p for a full day's usage. And then on the more personal level, an evaporative cooler, which there's cold water in there that'll help cool you down, and there's a fan unit in there that's around about 6p for a full day's usage. And then we have a USB fan which plugs into your laptop and would be around about a penny usage. So they don't break the bank, but they will keep you cool. So compared to the cost of installing an air conditioning unit, which may be around about £1,000, or by using something like a portable air conditioning unit, which will cost about £6 a day to run, these cost pennies and keep you cool. Hopefully some of the tips that you've heard in today's video will be useful, and if you need any other energy efficiency advice, then please visit www.warmandwell.co.uk. Thank you.